Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Derling, and it is always a pleasure to welcome Mr. Chris Preston from My Rock and Roll Heaven to the show, sporting a vintage Montreal Expos baseball cap. Good morning, sir.
Nos amours. Good morning, Tim. Yes, I'm excited to be here wearing my Expos garb, as you mentioned, and looking forward to this one. This is going to be some fun.
I'm not even a sports guy, and I'm like, is that an Expos hat? I haven't seen that logo in years, but um, yeah. So on this episode, this is definitely a follow-up episode. I think we talked about this probably just as soon as we finished recording the first one. Well, we actually did a couple of episodes on 90s vinyl. We did singles and we did original vinyl, but now we're going to do 90s albums that we have as reissues. And I don't know about you, Chris, but I mean, to me, there's no shame in reissues. If the original
No,
version of the vinyl is hundreds and hundreds of dollars and you can get a reissue for 40, unless I mean, unless you're really trying to get,
exactly.
unless you're really a completist, you're really trying to get every version of something. But it's not
Yeah.
even a matter of settling for a reissue. It's like now I've got it on vinyl. So yeah, so we're
Well, you
gonna
make
go.
you make a good point. Yeah. Because
Yes,
I'd have to say to that, like there are so many, and I have examples that you'll see of exactly as you said, where the originals are unaffordable because they're
yeah,
so rare, right? From
yeah,
this time frame in the 90s when vinyl shut down most regions around the world.
yeah.
And in some cases, Tim, some of these that were reissues never were issued on vinyl,
In the first place,
right?
right?
In the
Yeah.
first
So
place. Yeah.
so they're not even they're not even
Right.
reissues. They're just issues. Um, Yeah, good point. So we're going to go through year by year, 1990 through 1999, and see what we have. And so I will let Chris start us off with everything he's got for reissues from 1990.
All right. I'm very curious to see which ones we have in common.
I already know,
That should be
based on our
interesting.
last episode, that I've got some reissues that you have the original of. And
You're right.
there's only one that I have the original and the reissue of.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. So let's kick it off, as you said, with 1990. This one I got just a couple of years ago, but the original vinyl, as we talked about, is ridiculously expensive. So it's Warrant,
Yeah.
their second album. I'm going to take it out of here. Their
Yeah.
second album, Cherry Pie. So this is a 2022 reissue by Music on Vinyl, which puts out quite a bit of stuff. I've got a
Yeah.
few, but this is, in my opinion, Warrant's best album from top to bottom. And we all know the story of the title track, kind of a last minute addition that, you
Janie
know,
would go on
got a
to,
lot of, yeah.
yeah.
Say what did he actually say? I wish I hadn't wrote it.
Yeah, he said worse than that, but they caught him when they recorded that VH1 special. I think they caught him on a particularly bad day. The crazy thing
They
about
did.
that album cover, that is a Hugh Syme album cover, and it just certainly doesn't.
What?
That is a Hugh Syme album cover. Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like his usual style.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. That is not Hugh's usual
No,
style.
no, yeah,
Wow. Great album though. And that's one
yeah,
that actually I will tell you a lot of my reissues that we're going to go through are still sealed because I have it on other formats.
right. Same here. You're gonna. I
And
think. I think the majority of mine are sealed. But yeah, music on vinyl does a good job. I have quite a few CDs, like music on CD, same company. They
yeah,
do a good job at these
they
out
do.
of print albums. They put them back, they make them available again, at least for a while, if you
Right.
catch it at the right time.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Next up, another, I will say about 1990, this was the kind of very peak on the beginning of the downward spiral of hair metal and the
Hmm.
genre. And there were a lot of great albums put out in 1990 in this
Yeah,
genre. Case in point, which I'm thinking Tim will have, is this beast of an album.
yeah.
And Queensryche's Empire. This is a 2017 Back on Black reissue, but it's a double vinyl gatefold. Again, haven't opened it, but this is I'm not a massive Queensryche fan, but this was the album that made me a fan. Everybody knows the big hit Silent Lucidity, but this is a great album if
Yeah.
you're looking to get into Queensryche.
Oh yeah, that's the most user friendly. Jet City Woman and the title
Yeah.
song. Yeah, yeah,
Another Rainy Night,
yeah.
Empire, all really good. All right. This would be my third and last in 1990. I love this album. This
I
is
this is one that sticks out like a sore thumb because I need this on vinyl so bad.
you do,
I do.
Tim. This In the Heart of the Young, Winger second album. I saw them on this tour opening for Kiss, and they were fantastic. But this is the album Can't Get Enough and Miles Away, which ended up being their biggest hit.
Right.
And for a band that was much maligned musically, one of the most talented out there. And there's a lot of their songs on even on this one, like Rainbow and the Rose, has a certain proggy
Yeah, it
kind
does.
of
Yeah.
vibe to it, right?
Yeah, I
So
always thought that,
great,
and
great
all,
album.
and in the day we'll never see, and the title song. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's prog roots there for sure. Just musicianship galore. I have four from 1990, so we'll get started with those. First one was a big comeback for this group who never really had anything that wasn't at least a gold record, but they didn't have one that the masses got into. They were putting out
Mm.
albums that the diehards were buying, but this was the first time, like when I would have been in grade 11, when kids my age that, how can I say this nicely, that weren't in trouble all the time, were getting into this band because typically it was the rougher, tougher crowd that was
Right.
listening to AC/DC. Um,
Oh, of
the
course.
Razor's Edge, big comeback, Thunderstruck. Although as big a song as that is, not a top 40 hit. Very
Which
strange.
is so weird.
So
Very weird.
weird. It's still to this day played at sporting events everywhere. Um,
Everywhere.
yeah. So this is a 2003 reissue on Sony. As much as it would have been cool to find like original 1990 Atco version, I'm fine with this. This is fine.
Oh my! And you just reminded me. I have that as well. I just forgot to pull it out. So there's our first match.
Right on. Next one, I was really pleased when this came out on vinyl. There are, I think, German versions of this, but this came out in 2022, and it's the first of two I have that's on a company called Real Gone Music.
Oh, yep.
This was an album that got lost in the shuffle because there were so many bands coming out around this time, but I think this still holds up as a really good melodic hard rock album. Baton Rouge and Shake Your
Ah,
Soul. You
yes. That is
can get an
amazing. You have a
original,
copy.
yeah, you can get an original Atlantic version of this, but it will set you back. This is a
Oh,
great, great
yeah.
album. Walks Like a Woman was the single. But this whole album, like like every song on this album could have been a single. It's all very hooky. Kelly
It
Keeler is a
is.
fantastic singer. They were, you could call them hair metal. They were sort of white snakish, but
Yeah.
they had almost like just a very, very slight tinge of like a Midwest, not Southern
Right.
rock, but there was just something, just, I don't know. They were just really, really good. And unfortunately, they came around too late.
Well, to your point, they're a band that got lost in the shuffle of all those horrible fourth-rate
Yeah.
copycat rat bands, right? Where these
Yeah.
bands, like these guys, had talent,
Yeah.
and they just got lost in it
And
all.
Atlantic Records needs to bear the brunt because they signed, I
They
remember
do
seeing the
a
red and white as we
ton.
talked about on the our cassette episode. And even Shake Your Soul, I can remember I remember a dump bin at a local Zellers that was full of long boxes of Shake Your Soul. I mean, this was in
Oh man,
and it was, I wish I'd have bought them all so I'd never
I
run
know.
out.
Me too.
But
Me
yeah.
too.
So next up, as you suspected, I do have Empire. One thing I've always wondered about with this, even when it first came out, I know it's
Hmm.
early days of computer graphics, but I always wondered, like, why did they leave it so pixelated?
Yeah, that's got to be on purpose. But you're right, especially on a
Right.
record, right, where it's so much bigger. You really
Yeah.
notice it.
Even on the back, I mean, the Tri-Rite logo is all pixelated. This is a 2021 reissue on
Oh,
it's capital, but it's UMG because Universal's basically swallowed up just about every label. This was made in the Czech Republic. But yeah,
of course it is.
yeah, like you said, it's a double album. It was a longer CD.
It was. Yep.
And my last one for 1990 is one that you showed off because you've got the original Rat and
I do indeed.
Detonator, and
I love this one.
yeah,
Love this
great
one.
album. This is a reissue from Atlantic, so I think it's only 2023. And what's weird about this is now it says Atlantic and BMG. So it's like all of these
Oh,
labels that
yeah, that's
used to
weird.
be singular entities on their
Yeah,
own, they've all
I don't like that.
merged.
I
No,
don't like this.
no,
I don't
I'm
like
I'm like,
this.
no, take me back.
Take me
Um,
back.
yeah, so that's my 1990. So we're off to a really good start.
Oh, this is a very good start. 91 is a big one for me. I've got quite a few. And I think, you know what? I'm going to start with this one because I just got it recently. It was on sale at a local, not local, another chain here in Canada, Toys R Us slash HMV that's going under.
Yeah,
So I've got,
yeah.
yeah, it's sad, but the one by me was just closing. So this is
Mm,
Van
yeah.
Halen's For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, the deluxe edition.
I've got the CD version of that,
This is
which
absolutely beautifully
actually, no, I'm
packaged.
sorry. I have that same one. I for some reason I forgot it had vinyl in it. So yeah, I have that one in common with you. And I
It's
also
so
have the
good.
original of. So I guess there's two that I have the original of and the reissue.
That's right. You do have the original. Yes, that one's a little pricey for me right now, but this kind of alters with 5150 is my favorite Hagar
Yeah.
era
This one,
album.
I've said it. This is my favorite Van Halen album.
Oh wow, and
Full
that's saying a lot.
full stop. I love this album so much.
Well, there's what, 7 singles came out of this one, and
Yeah, if you yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. It's a
it,
great sounding album and it was heavy and it was oh, so good.
and Van Halen at that point was, I think this is at their peak with Hagar and ubiquitous everywhere. Like you would right now was everywhere,
Yeah.
which is crazy. It didn't chart
Another
higher, but
another like Thunderstruck, another song that most people would know that peaked,
right.
oddly enough, because it's Hagar at
If
55.
you if which is so weird, but
I know.
if you asked someone who wasn't familiar like with Van Halen, they would know that right now is a Hagar Van Halen. Like that's the Hagar
Yeah.
Van Halen for
And yet
non fans, right?
the highest charting song on the pop chart on that album was Top of the World.
Yeah, so weird.
And a lot of people know Pound Cake too. And that didn't. So
No,
Run
that was a
Around, Man
rocket.
on a Mission. Oh, I love it so much. So good.
It's so good. It's so good. So that's a nice find that I got recently, and that also too, by the way, has a Blu-ray with the live at Dallas, Texas show,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah. Is that
Okay, next
okay?
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next up, I love this band, and when this album came out, we were eagerly awaiting it, and man, were we shocked when the first single came out, and people who were buying Skid Row because of "I Remember You."
Yeah.
Look
Oh
out.
yeah. Yeah.
Slave to the Grind came
I
out and
I
knocked us on our asses.
yeah. Yeah. Summer 91, man. I can still remember watching
Summer
I
91.
just the tail end of the school year. I remember this.
Yep,
I was watching the
exactly
Power
right.
Hour on Much Music, and the late Dan Gallagher was interviewing Snake and Rachel, and I want to say Scotty. It was either Scotty or Rob
Yes,
Mafuso. It wasn't
yes.
Sebastian.
I think I
And
saw this
and
interview.
that's when and it ended with the premiere of the Monkey Business video, and I was in. Like I loved this
Yeah.
band from their first album anyway, but I'm like, okay. And I this is
Well,
another one I don't have on vinyl in any form, and I have got to fix that.
you've got to fix that, but this is like the 18-year-old girls and the soccer moms running screaming when they heard Monkey
Yeah.
Business.
It was
But this is
definitely
a shock.
it was one of the
This
few
is
times that I can think of that a band actually said they were going to heavy up, and they did.
and then Slave to the Grind came out
Yeah.
as a single, and it was
Oh,
like,
it's practically
whoa.
speed metal, or at
So
least
this is a
old school
20
speed metal.
old school, yeah, 2021 reissue, BMG Rhino.
Now, now I
But
have to ask,
good one.
how many tracks are on that? Is it 12 or
On this
13?
one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I'm
6,
just wondering if it's got both
12.
songs. Okay,
12.
so which song do we have? Do we have the Get the Out or do we have Beggar's Day?
Get the out.
Okay, right on.
So, yep. Okay, next up,
And
19. Oh, sorry, Tim, go ahead.
no, I was just because that was the first time I can remember an album coming out. Number one, I think it's the first time I ever saw an album where it was just written out and not bleeped on the sleeve.
Yeah,
And it
good
was
point.
also the first time that there was an album that came out in two different versions with with a different song on. So yeah, me and
Right.
my buddy John, we each bought one so we could hear them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
By the way, the cover art on that is Sebastian
Yep.
Bach's dad.
David Burke. Yeah. Yeah. Very
Yep.
cool.
Famous artist. Okay. Um, this came out again in around the summer or fall, I believe, and holy hell, did we play the crap out of this thing?
Oh, big
Ozzy
comeback.
Osbourne's
Yeah.
huge comeback. No More Tears. This is a double vinyl gatefold reissue. Just recently, I think it was 2020. Oh no, 2021. Epic Records, but No More Tears. My favorite Ozzy song of all time. The extended full version, not the video edit.
Yeah.
Absolute classic. This album.
I'm going to call that was very similar to the Razor's Edge in that Ozzy was never not selling albums, but that he gained more mainstream popularity with that.
Exactly. And then what was to come, right? The Osbourne show on MTV, and then everybody knew who Ozzy
Who
was.
would have thought? Yeah. Yeah.
Who would have thought? A couple albums from one of my favorite bands of all time, and I was really excited when this came out in 1991. Queen, Innuendo. And this is as well double vinyl. This is via Hollywood Records reissue 2015. And this is obviously Freddie's kind of last hurrah.
Yeah.
And a lot of songs on this, you can hear the emotional, man, Freddie is at the top of his game. But Show Must Go On, the title track, Headlong. This is a great album. Great
Yeah.
album. Absolute classic. And then, of course, you can't have Queen without having a copy of their greatest hits too, which is a must own for anybody. This is the kind of post mid 80s and forward greatest hits album.
Yeah.
Double vinyl gatefold again. I love that greatest hits album. One of my favorites. And then lastly for 1991, this might have been one of the most anticipated third albums, but anticipated album releases of all time by one of the biggest bands in the world at that point.
Yeah.
Right? Guns N' Roses, the Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 albums that people were lined up at midnight at record stores to get these. And these are reissues from a little while back, but these are made in the Czech Republic as well. I wish they had done a gatefold, but they didn't. They just did the wider.
I can tell you, I think I talked about this. My buddy Chad had the original US Geffen print, and they weren't gatefold either. They were just wider.
Oh, they weren't.
They were just thicker sleeves.
It's kind of
so they're reprinting how they came out originally.
Yeah, right. And the inner sleeves are exactly as how they were back then, and they're really well done. There's a lot of talk about these albums, right? In that, did they really need to do two? Imagine how awesome if they combined it into one, like 14-track album it would have been. But I love them both.
They were both really long albums on their own.
Very long.
But but it had been quite a long time, and so I don't know. It's an interesting idea. What could have been.
Exactly. That's it for me for 91. So some classics in there. Yep.
Okay, so this one was let me see. This is another music on vinyl. This did not sell nearly as much as I think it should have. I think it's a great album. Alice Cooper, Hey Stupid.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I think myself, this is a much better album than Trash. I mean, this was his two sort of, pop metal, hair metal albums. Now, I like Trash. Exactly. Poison's a fantastic song, and I've said this. There's no one song on here that I like as much as I like Poison, but overall, I think this is a better album. I like the production better on this album. This is just great. I mean, this is again in another time. I don't understand why this album. It didn't even certify in the States. It didn't even go gold.
No, that's what I was just gonna say. Very weird.
His comeback was not very long. But this is a music on vinyl reissue. This would have come out on vinyl originally, but not easy to find. So this is from 2017, and I like the fact that they reprinted the classic Epic label.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's good when they do that. The little things.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the only thing that would have been really cool if they'd have put on the end of this, there's a great song that was on international versions of this album, and it was on the B-side of the title track, a song called "It Rained All Night."
Oh,
Fantastic song. If you've not heard it, check it out. It's classic
I
Desmond
will.
Child songwriting. It could have easily gone on the album, but yeah,
Nice.
great. Next up, let me see. This is a fantastic album from a band that again, another band I think we're just a little bit too late getting into the game. This is another, let me see. This is another Real Gone Music reissue because this was issued in at least Germany in 1991 on Warner Music. But if you go on Discogs and try to price one out, you'll. So I was perfectly happy to get this. Harem Scarum.
Oh, absolutely.
Great melodic rock. And they're still together putting out great albums. I mean,
Still,
they're
yep,
such an overlooked band, even here in Canada where they're from. But yeah, this is a great album. Slowly Slipping Away is
so
probably one of
much so.
my favorite songs of all time. That is like if that song doesn't put me in a better mood, it's a bad day. Like that is just
And
one of
that
my
chorus, yeah,
it just hooks. I mean, it's hook, line, and sinker. Like I said, if they'd come out a few years earlier, and if they'd have gotten a U.S. deal, this was one of those bands that were strictly on Warner
yep,
Music Canada. But yeah,
good point.
but to their point, they're still doing it now. I think they got better out fully as far as full albums go. But I think there's some great songs on here. I mean, it is a little bit lighter
Yeah,
than what they would do. It's very pop, but boy, is it good. But yeah, I was glad to add this to my collection. And the funny thing is, like,
I need to get that.
as far as being like behind the times, I said the same thing about Baton Rouge, and both of those album covers have like a
Ah,
a
very good.
doll on the cover. Uh,
Or
next,
just piece of trivia quickly for people who are Canadian and in the early '90s. That album for me is forever tied to Degrassi Junior High.
that's right. A
That
lot
Harem
of those
Scarum
songs,
album.
yeah, a lot of those songs. And you know what? I mean, I was I remember there were five singles from that album. Like radio
Yeah,
played a lot of the songs
they
from that.
did.
Like half of the album I remember hearing all the time with a little love and honestly and yeah, good stuff. And a song that wasn't a single, but one of my favorites is Distant Memory. I love that song too. It
Good.
just I can't, yeah, love it.
They
Next
all could have
one,
been.
this is a reissue, an original what did come out on Elektra, but super expensive. Metallica's Black Album. This was another album
Mm,
that people were lined up to get. I think it came out right around the same time as the GNR album. This is a reissue on their own label, Blackened Recordings, two album set. But yeah, that's huge album, continues to sell to this day.
so there's number two that I didn't pull out, but I have in my collection.
Well, I've got two that you already talked about, and probably the same issues. Queen Innuendo.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
this is a 20, this is the same version. It's a 2015 reissue. Although this isn't on Hollywood, it's on Virgin. So
Oh,
yeah,
let
I
me
know
look at mine here.
Hollywood issued it originally, but yeah, this is on Virgin. But yeah, this would have come out in the UK and a lot of territories on um, on EMI, but that would be super expensive. So I was
Does
happy to get
yours
it.
does yours have that on it on the front, the little hype? Yeah,
Believe
it
it
does. Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see anywhere in mine. And it says 2011, 2015 Hollywood Records. I don't see any Virgin.
So up in the corner of mine on the back.
Yeah, mine says Hollywood.
Isn't that something? That's really cool.
Yeah, yours
Wow.
says Virgin.
So, okay, so this was made in Germany, even though I bought it in Canada. And this was one of the last records I bought at HMV in Fredericton before it closed, and then it
Oh
would eventually
man.
become Sunrise
Ah,
in
yes.
the same location. And I also have the Greatest Hits too.
Oh, of
Now, now,
course.
now, the confusing thing about this is that, to explain to people that are just getting into Queen now, Greatest Hits 2 came out in late 91, right around the time that, Freddie died, but it was coming out
Yeah,
anyway. It was not released in North America because they didn't have that many hits. Basically, after the
exactly.
first Greatest Hits came out in 81, they had Radio Gaga, and that was really about it. They had songs that
Yep.
hit the chart but didn't hit the top 40. In the UK, of course, much different story. So they had enough to fill
Oh,
it a
of course.
great.
Yeah.
So what Hollywood Records did, which I think is brilliant, is they put out classic Queen, same cover.
Absolutely right.
They put Bohemian Rhapsody on there, which was was hitting the charts again because of Wayne's World. They
Exactly.
also put, speaking of Metallica, Stone Cold Crazy, which was never a single, but
So
it
good.
was a title that was recognizable.
Yep.
And it was the second thing I ever bought by Queen after I bought A Night at the Opera that ran right around the same time. And I listened to classic Queen all the time. So this is almost the same. The other weird thing is that Under Pressure was on the North American and I think Japanese and other territories. That was on the first greatest hits. It was
Yes, it
not on the
was.
UK greatest hits, so it's featured here. So that's the oldest song. So it goes back to 81. But I
Yeah,
mean,
good point.
I want it all. I want to break free, breakthrough, like you said, headlong, hammer to fall. First time I heard Hammer to Fall was on the classic Queen. I'm like, oh, this rocks. This is so
A
good.
rocker, right? Yeah.
One Vision. I'd forgotten about One Vision. I'm like, I love
Oh,
this
so good.
song. A Kind of
So good. So good.
Magic. I remember seeing that video on Much Music. But yeah, this version I have is from 2016. Now this one is a Hollywood Records. This one says
Yeah.
2016.
So we had the same issue. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, I've got a couple more. I know you would not have this one. This is Rush, Roll the Bones, and
I do not.
this is a funny thing. This is a reissue from it originally came out in 91, of course. I think the reissues came out, it doesn't say. And this too, this would have been available in the UK and stuff, but super expensive. So this is an Atlantic reissue, and they
Nice.
recreated the uh
Good.
the labels. And the next one, or the last one I have from 91 is, I guess, the Van Halen one notwithstanding, is the only other one that I have the original vinyl and the reissue. Y&T, Yesterday and Today Live. This was
Oh, yeah.
reissued
I
by,
should have known
yeah,
that. Yep.
yeah, this was reissued by Metal Blade a couple years ago. And like the CD, it has two live tracks on it. Well, it's a live album anyway, but it has two tracks that weren't on the original. So I kind of had no choice. So,
Oh, of course.
and I always liked the blue and like the blue and purple, the what they did with the logo here. But yeah,
Yeah, I like that air logo. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I've got from 1991. Great stuff here. Great stuff.
This is fun. And the 1992, I've got three or four, but this is one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. And the original is a holy grail for collectors, a grail item for me, but it is insanely expensive. It really didn't do much. They somewhat dissolved in that one of the members, the most prominent member, left.
Oh yeah.
Hardline,
Yeah.
Double Eclipse. This is a monster hard rock album.
Hot Cherry is just so
Uh,
good.
uh,
It's a
and the
Streetheart
fact
song.
that,
Did you know that?
yeah, I did know that. Yeah, exactly. This is a first this is first orange vinyl pressing and the first US pressing. This was not issued on vinyl in the US originally,
Yeah.
just in Europe. But Neil Sean from Journey, this was his side band with the Gioeli brothers, and Dean Castronova was on drums.
Yeah, so
Todd
they
Jensen,
both
who's in
jumped they
Journey.
both jumped
Yeah,
ship from Bad English. Todd Jensen, of course, is in Journey now.
exactly.
But he played with the funny thing is that he also played on Steve Perry's For the Love of Strange Medicine album in 94.
Which is a good one. But
Yeah.
this is a must own. Like I said, this is like top 10 for me, and every song just rocks. Like it just rocks, and it got lost in the shuffle in
Too
1992.
a little too late, yeah. It wasn't
Yeah,
MCA, but I don't think it would have mattered what label it was on. It wasn't,
it didn't matter.
yeah.
It didn't matter. And the good thing is they continue to this day with Johnny Gioeli is the only original member, but he still is carrying on with them, and they're on Frontiers
Yeah.
and play a lot of festivals in Europe. So
Yeah.
amazing album. Love that album. Of course, you've got to have some representation from one of Canada's most iconic bands of all time. And we've got the Tragically Hips. This is, I think, their biggest album in terms of commercial sales, fully completely. And it's just chock full of hits. If you're a hip fan, this is kind of their coming out party, and this is my favorite Tragically Hip album. Awesome cover art, all done on a Canon photocopier.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you read about it, all of
It
the
doesn't
and you can
look
kind of
like it
see when
either.
you,
It looks like it was done on a canvas.
but it's them pressing their faces against the glass. You can kind of
Okay.
tell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is a diamond certified album in Canada, which is pretty amazing, right? Of course, 1992. Who can you not talk about? My favorite band of all time. And of course, their album Adrenalize, which I absolutely love. Gets a little bit of people poo poo this a little bit from time to time as being a carbon copy. They cashed it in, but Steve Clark died during the making of this, so you know they finished it as a four piece, and there they are. Well, one
Yeah,
of the only pictures of them as a four piece.
yeah.
This is from the vinyl box set collection, which volume two, which was released some years ago. And Joe Elliott, if you're watching, please, where is volume four?
He's probably working on it. He's probably working
I
on
would
it.
think so. I
Yeah.
would think so.
Get churchy
That's
on that.
yeah.
He'll
Get
get he'll
church. You'll get it. That's it for me for 92.
okay.
Tim,
All
off
right.
to
So
you.
I've got, let me see, what have I got? One, two, three, four. I've got five from 1992. This first one is cool because I like the band, but I wasn't out to get this particularly when I did. I found a used copy at a record expo a few years ago, which was
Mm.
great, but because I think I paid $35 for it. I
Oh, that's
it this
a good price.
probably came out on vinyl, like on Atlantic originally, but it would be super expensive if so. But AC/DC Live.
Oh yes,
So this originally came out on it came out on a single disc and a two
yeah.
double, like same with the
Is that
cassettes.
double? Is that a double vinyl?
Well, it's a double vinyl, yep, and I don't know if that means it's got all the songs, but it's certainly
Yeah,
there's let me see, there's six, 10, there's 20 songs on it altogether. So it probably does have all the songs on it.
yeah. That sounds about right.
So this is another one of the Sony reissues from not 2003, and of course it's got the whole lot of rosy gatefold, and yeah, so that's got so here's the vinyl itself. It's got all of those reissues look like this on the side, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's in good shape, and it wasn't it wasn't the cost of a
$35. That's
yeah yeah.
amazing.
I'm like, well, I think I was on my way out. I think I was we were kind of like done for that particular, and I'm like, well, hang on, I got to go get that.
Got to get
Yeah,
that. That's a really good live album too.
yeah,
It sounds great. It's a good representation of them kind of at their comeback peak.
yeah, yeah. Recorded, yeah, on the Razor's Edge tour. Next one you just showed, Adrenalize, of course. This is the only copy of
Gotta
this
have
I have
that.
on vinyl. This is made in Germany. I bought this by itself, and it's probably the same copy you have. Looks the same with the
Yeah, mine is though not a made in Germany.
oh, okay.
Oh no, it is. Sorry, no, it is. You're right. And this was. I wonder if it's. Yeah, it's got to be the same one that was in the vinyl box set. They just issued it separately.
So the
Yeah,
barcode ends in 313816.
yeah, same one as me.
Same one. Okay.
Yeah, and
All
it's
right.
got the. I love the label too. I've always
Yeah.
loved that.
Next is an album that was a gold record, very successful, and it was a band that I got into in the 90s because they were still melodic. Dream Theater, Images and Words.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is their best known album, and so this is a reissue on Atlantic Rhino from 2024. This had Pull Me Under, their best known song. It's a single record, which is cool because it was more affordable. But yeah, I mean the original version of this would cost a lot of money, and it was never issued in
Oh
North
yeah.
America on vinyl. Next one is one that Chris showed as having the original. I've got the 2014 part of that reissue series for Kiss Revenge, a
Uh-huh.
fantastic album. So yeah, all of those reissues have that sticker in the corner.
Yep.
Um, a single
Yeah,
record,
they did a good job in 2014 with all of those.
which is weird. What I think is weird is the spine. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but that's got the red and white. Um,
Yep.
Like if you look at Cinderella Still Climbing or Bon Jovi these days or Crossroad, um, that's what the polygram CDs were looking like at the time. That's not what
That's right.
Revenge looked like, but hey, that's a minor. It's not even a thing. It's just was, it's getting it on vinyl. And let me see, I've got one more. This one I kind of stumbled upon by accident. This originally came out in 2017. Now there was a box set for this band, but because I've got most of what is in it, I didn't buy the box set. So I
Oh
am
yeah.
missing one that Chris already showed off, but this is Skid Row and their covers EP, Beside
Oh, I've
Ourselves from
forgotten about that one.
1992. So it's just got 5 songs on it. So it's like 3 songs on one side, 2 on the other. But it's fun and it was fairly cheap. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. This is um,
Absolutely.
not a band that you see a lot of vinyl from for sure. So that's all I've got from 1992.
All
Now
right.
93 vinyl.
93.
Yeah.
Yeah, 93 was a big year for me for reissue or yeah, reissues. Starting with another favorite band of mine that this album I think is tied as their second biggest seller, and it's Aerosmith's great album Get a Grip. This is a reissue 180 gram, obviously by Geffen on Universal. This album and the songs from this album were everywhere
Yeah.
in '93. Like, there's a lot of singles from this. It gets some flack from I think the hardcore Aerosmith fans, but the videos were all over Much Music and
Yeah.
MTV, right? Like, and this was the Alicia Silverstone
Yeah.
crazy and crying, or sorry, yeah, crazy
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
those are the ones. But
Liv Tyler's
Liv
emergence as a
Tyler,
yeah.
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 But this is a good album. I enjoy this album, and I love the song "Amazing" and the video for it.
That might be the only one that I've actually got the original of that you don't.
You have the original. Oh
Yeah, yeah. I
man,
remember I bought it in Germany and it's got it was just 2 records inside one sleeve and it's got I want to say
wow.
Can't Stop Messin'. They added that to I think towards the end of the album.
Yep, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, '93. Another band of mine, favorite band of mine, that put out this album, which I didn't like at the time so much. It's Poison. It's hard to see the cover
Yeah.
here, the artwork, but it's Native Tongue. And this was the one album that, well, this is when CC got jettisoned and Richie Kotzen right there stepped in. And this is a really different album from Poison that veered away from their glam rock. You can even tell by the look of the band, right? Like, look at they've
Yeah.
ditched all the spandex and pink hair, and they're much more serious. Stand was the first single, and it's a Poison song with a freaking choir in it, so that tells you how different this is. But it's a good album. There's some good songs on here. Richie didn't last long because he was messing around with Ricky Rocket's
Yeah.
wife,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a fantastic album, Native Tongue. All right, Tim showed a Kiss album earlier. I've got some Kiss to come show as well, and it's Alive 3. And this is part of the 2014 reissue series, but I'm tempted to open this just because I know the gatefold's worthwhile to look at, but I haven't opened it. But this is Kiss, kind of at the. I like this album. I think they're at the top of their game in terms of performing, and was recorded on the Revenge tour. So it's got, like Dominoes on here, which is a great, great, great song. So that's a good album, good live album. Up next, from the Cult.
Oh, cool. Matt, if you're
Pure
watching this, do you
Cult.
have this on vinyl? He's a huge Cult fan.
Yeah, I would think he does if he's a huge Cult fan, but this is the singles 84 to 95. There we go on the back. And, contains all their hits essentially from She Sells Sanctuary all the way up to Wild Hearted Son. Okay, couple more from '93. Of course, we talked about them already in '92, but in 1993, Def Leppard released Retroactive, which was kind of a cleansing of the palette, moving from the Steve Clark era to the new Vivian Campbell era. We've talked about this one a lot, Tim, in the past on various Def Leppard shows, how good it is.
This
And to
fine,
have
fine,
all these
fine collection of songs. Yes.
fine collection of songs. Yeah. And that
Yeah.
very cool
Oh
Hugh
yeah.
Syme, right?
Yep. Yep. Optical
Which looks like a
illusion.
skull.
Yep.
Yeah. Great.
Yep.
But this is a favorite of mine in the Def Leppard world. Now, this one, I've got two. and I can't remember why. And they both look slightly different, the pressings. In 93, a very maligned band, Winger, which we've already talked about, put out
Oh,
one of
so
my favorite
so good.
albums,
Yeah.
Winger's Pull. This saw them go kind of like a Poison. They went more raw, ditched all the crazy hair, all the rest of it. And Pull is amazing. Much harder, much more aggressive. These pressings are a music. Oh no, this is Friday music. This one, and this one is, and this is the proper Atlantic reissue that they did fairly recently. So one's issued by Atlantic, and then one's, you can tell the licensed one, Tim, which is this one. You can't pick it up on the video probably, but there's actually, you can see the, shall we say, difference in quality from Friday music. It's the colors aren't as vivid. Some of the font is a little bit different. And even on the back, you can see the fonts are different in terms of
Mhm.
color and kind
Yeah,
of
one's a
how
little bit
dark they
more
are.
orange than the other.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the
Mm.
Friday music one.
Yeah.
So that's a great album, great album.
Yeah.
That's it for '93.
Okay, so I've got a bunch of the same and a bunch different. I think I've got seven from 93. Now, here's one I bought. I haven't had this too long. I might have bought this a year ago, and I was excited that it came out, but then I was disappointed when I looked at it. This was a classic Canadian band that had a comeback. They actually had a gold record with this album. So this is April Wine and Attitude. And
Yeah,
this had never been
wow.
on vinyl before.
No,
And it's shine like it's got a silver like
yeah,
so that was not like the original. And all of them look like that. So I'm not a big fan of that because it's like that's not how they looked originally, but I was glad to get it on vinyl. But now that was a long album. I think that there were 13 songs on it. It was the first one they did in the CDH. There's only 10 tracks on here, so they scooped three songs off of
yep.
it and not no, so I'm not a big fan of that. But what I do like is that Unidisc put this out, but it says 1993 Aquarius Records. And this album and the one that followed it, Frigate in 94, were both released on FRE Entertainment, which is a small label that didn't last very long that EMI distributed in Canada that went under.
Mm,
All of April Wine's other albums were on Aquarius. So it's kind of cool to see
yep.
them on Aquarius. I just wish they could have, I don't know, seems to me they could have gotten at least one more song on there. Uh, Next one is one you've already shown, Retroactive, and
Gotta have it. Yep.
this is another Made in Germany one, and yeah, so many great songs on here, and it collects those Hysteria B sides. Some of them are slightly re-recorded. I remember being very surprised because I had the Hysteria single, so I knew Ride into the Sun, but I was not expecting Ian Hunter's piano intro.
No, right.
Uh, but yeah, Ring of Fire, I Want to Be Your Hero, great stuff. Next one you've already shown, and I'm pretty sure we got the same version. This was my introduction to Kiss. I was not a Kiss fan prior to this.
Oh
Um,
wow.
this was it, and it was repeated plays of this by my buddy Matt that I realized how many Kiss songs that I liked were all on here. So it had I Love
Yeah,
It
because
Loud and it had Detroit Rock City and it had Forever and so and yeah, I mean, Revenge was such a great sort of tougher rock comeback for them. Also need to mention that yeah, this did come out on vinyl originally in
yeah.
it might have come out in the States, but it's super expensive. But one thing the vinyl has that the CD and cassette doesn't is the song Take It Off, which was um,
Oh right.
first came out on the Kiss Confidential home video. So but it was recorded at the same
Yeah.
time. I loved, I love the what they did with, putting the band members inside here. Yes, I agree with you. This was the most musically adept Kiss lineup.
Yep. I would agree with you too. And this set list is really good on this tour.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see a Kiss cover band do a live three,
Oh yeah.
front to back. Yeah. Next one is another one that Chris already showed. Poison Native Tongue. I think this is a great album. I was later getting into Poison. I kind of took them for
Okay.
granted, but I like this album a lot. And it's like, yes, it's different. There's no green to be found on here. There's no bright neon colors, but the logo's there. At least they kept the logo. It's not that different. If you listen to Body Talk and you know Strike Up the Band. It's not that different. I think that was a kind of a.
No.
There are definitely songs that, but I think if you listen to Flesh and Blood, there's songs on there. They were starting to. They weren't
Yes.
quite so glam as they had been, and. But
Yeah,
yeah, this
you're
was
right.
really a step in that direction. Now, what I like about this is made in Germany. It might be the same version that you showed off.
It is. Yeah,
This
that's mine too.
reissue is from 2024. But I like the fact that this has some bonus songs on it. It's got a different mix of Until You Suffer Some, Fire and Ice, and it's got the acoustic version of Stand, which, by the way, for those that don't know, Stand got a lot of airplay, peaked at number 50 on Billboard, but it went all the way to 15 in Canada. So it was a
Mm,
fairly good size hit, but it's also got the song Whip Comes Down, which was the B side of Stand, but it wasn't on the original album. So I
right.
like it when they collect those sort of B sides. If you're gonna have it on four records, you might as well fill it out with something.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And this one too, though, was them just like every other band of that kind of genre, right? They were trying to be more serious to
Yeah,
fit in with the
yeah,
grunge craze. And
yeah.
like, holy hell, Brett is like, he is
Ripped.
jacked on the
Yeah, yeah,
band.
yeah. Next one, here's another one that I'm the only one that has it. Rush Counterparts. This came out late '93. This was a much heavier album than their previous two, but not that heavy. There's a few songs that, anyway, it's slightly heavy. It's a better produced album. This was the first time they worked. They worked with Peter Collins on this for the first time in a while, and it's a much better sounding album. This would have been on vinyl in the UK and Europe, but this is a reissue version.
I gotta
Um,
ask Tim, do you have you have the complete collection for Rush, I'm guessing?
yes and no. I've got all the studio albums on vinyl. Here's what I'm missing, and one I'll probably never have. But in 1990, they put Mercury, because in Canada, Rush were always on Anthem Records.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Anthem just switched distributors. But in the States, between 80, like in 1989, they switched from Mercury to Atlantic. So in
Hmm.
1990, Mercury put out a two-disc collection called Chronicles. Um,
Yes, yeah.
with a brown album cover. Now that came out on vinyl in the UK and in South America, and it was because it was a two CD, two cassettes. It's on three vinyl. That's never been part of any reissue program. So
Okay.
there's like the one pressing, and it's ridiculously expensive. I'd like to have
Ridiculous, yeah.
that. They also
Yep.
put out the live album Rush in Rio from 2003 on vinyl. That again, super expensive set. And the original Vapor Trails, their comeback album that came out in 2002, I've got the remixed version of that on vinyl, but I don't have the original issue of the vinyl. I almost bought like a gray market version of that just to have it. And if I see it
Right.
again, I might. Other than that, yeah, I've pretty much got all of it. And finally, another album that Chris talked about, fantastic album,
Yeah,
sinfully
man.
overlooked. At least Poison's Native Tongue, at least that went gold. This had this didn't stand a chance.
It didn't. And it's too
Stupid,
bad.
stupid Beavis and Butthead for crying out loud. But
So true. Yeah.
this is a great album. This is the Friday music version that I've got. They Most of their reissues that I've seen were originally Atlantic, like this one. I have a Yes Live CD that is on Friday Music, so I think they were a sort of a division of Atlantic. But that's all
Right.
I've got for '93.
All right. Well, let's venture into, I think this is the only, yeah, it's the only one I've got from 94. And again, Canada's iconic, the Tragically Hip, and their album Day for Night, which was highly anticipated coming off fully completely. Nice gatefold with all the lyrics for the songs. This is, if you ask me right now, this would be my favorite Tragically Hip album. It's much darker um, than their previous works, and the songs are outstanding. I saw them on this tour, and it was fantastic. But that's must own for any Tragically Hip fan on vinyl.
I remember
That's it for
seeing I remember seeing that in stores in Canada on vinyl at the time. As a matter of
yeah.
fact, I think it came out on I might be getting them mixed up with Pearl Jam, but I think that came out on vinyl before the CD and cassette came out.
You might be right. This is
which
the
was yeah.
2019 Music
But no,
Vaults
but it did
reissue.
come out originally because I remember around that time there were a select few because I got that Kiss My Ass album which I showed off, and then the Van Halen's Balance, so like big bands. For a brief period, they were putting them out on vinyl, which was, to be honest, a
Well,
novelty.
well, it is, but it makes sense for this to have
Yeah,
been on
makes
vinyl in
sense.
Canada because at this
Yeah,
point they were massive,
yeah.
right? So
I've never been a hip fan to be perfectly honest, but I've never
you
understood
are, you
why
aren't.
not. But
Yeah, yeah. But that's the thing. There's the camp. You're not in the middle. It's you're a fan or you're not a fan.
yeah, now I did watch the farewell concert.
Of course.
Like I think most of Canada did.
You
But
exactly,
I've never
exactly.
understood why they never broke into the States. Because to me, that had all the ingredient. They should have been as big as REM or U2 or like. I'm really surprised. The albums were
They're
there and they had a cult following, but they
they did.
just never. I don't know if they didn't get on the right tours, but I never understood that. I was like, I can't. I'm because I mean the difference. It's crazy. The difference. Like in
It's
Canada,
a
they're
massive difference.
household name. I mean, Gord Downey's a household name. Everybody knows the songs. The songs are used in commercials, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, I've just never understood that. I've only got
If you watch the documentary, they do talk about their push in the U.S., but I think they were just too quirky and cerebral for the general
yeah, but
American.
people liked bands like that, especially in the 90s. Like it seems to me they
Yeah,
could have done
yeah.
that. Now I've got three from 94, so not many, and one of them is debatable how 94 it is,
Oh,
and you'll see what I mean.
debatable. Oh,
Yeah. I'm calling it 94. So my first one is a reissue from 2024. This is Dream Theater's album Awake, which is their third album. I still need to get their debut from '89 when Dream and Day Unite, but um, I don't know where this would have come out. It probably would have come out in Europe and stuff.
yeah, I would guess so.
Yeah. Next is we've already talked about this band, Queensryche Promised Land.
Mm,
And
nice album. Yeah.
yeah, and this is a Back on Black reissue from 2017. This album did well. It was platinum. It didn't do as well as Empire, but they managed to sustain for a little bit longer compared to a lot of bands of their era. But then again, they really weren't a hair metal band anyway. They were more prog
No.
and heavy. And although this isn't that heavy an album, but yeah. Uh, Shameless plug. When my Y&T book first came out, and when I first saw Hugh Symes' artwork for it, immediately made me think of this because of the color scheme.
100%.
Yeah, which I did not have a problem with. Now my last one is the one where it's like, is it from '94? I think it's the closest thing. I don't know if there's an actual original '94 on Geffen or EMI, but this is Whitesnake's greatest hits.
Oh,
But this
yeah, that's
is
right.
revisited, remixed, remastered, and this came out in 2022 on Rhino. I don't know if the original '94 issue came out, but it kind of looks like
Mm,
this. So
it does. It looks a lot like that.
I'm calling that I'm calling it the version of it. That's all I got for
Okay, I'm with
'94.
you. I'm with you.
Thank you, thank you.
I've only got one from 95. Oh, so one thing I'll mention just before I do this is we were talking about reissues in Czech Republic and where these are made in Germany,
Yep.
etc. And I was engaged in some online back and forth about the poor quality of a lot of these when you open them up and slide them out, brand new, they're scuffed, they're scratched. So I got some information as to why that's happening. A lot of them ship with paper sleeves.
Okay.
Um, and the paper actually in shipping and packaging and moves around, it scuffs the vinyl.
Seems
That
like
is
a
why a lot of
seems
these
like something
pressings,
that doesn't need to happen. That could be
100%, but
avoided.
they're going on the cheap with a paper sleeve, not a rice paper or poly. That's so there you go. Anyways, little information for you. This is I do not like this album. It's Kiss.
Oh.
Carnival of Souls, the final sessions.
See,
This
I call
was
that '97.
I think it's 95. Is it I found it somewhere that it was 95, but it could.
Now, if it had actually come out, it probably would have come out in '95. That's probably when it was recorded, but it didn't come out until like October '97.
There you go. I think that's exactly right because they kind of shelved it.
Yeah, other things were
Yeah,
happening.
other things were happening.
Yeah,
It's there are to me there are no memorable songs on this album.
yeah.
Moving on.
Okay, so that's actually not the one I thought you would have from
Oh,
95. Uh, I thought it would be this one.
oh, you know what? This is the extent of my forgetfulness, Tim. It's
Yeah,
right. Or is it? It's right up. Anyways, I do have it.
yeah.
I
So
do
Def
have it.
Leppard Vault, just a
There
side
it
note,
is.
I may have told you this before, but this was right around the time when this came out that I got well, I that summer in 95 I bought my first car. Which was a
Oh,
1986 Grand Am, and it took me months. I don't, it sounds funny today, but it took me months to find someone that could successfully install a CD player in it because I really wanted a CD player in it. And I listened to this CD all the time in the
oh,
car.
right.
Like
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
was just, I like the sequencing of it and everything, you know. But yeah, so the story behind this album is, so this one is a reissue from 2018. This actually says a Virgin EMI Records release,
Yeah,
which
that's the
is
same as
weird.
mine.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
but this, I bought this at Winners. And
Winners. What?
to this day is the only musical thing I've ever bought at a Winners store. But for a brief period, every once in a while, if you'd go into Winners or
They'd have
Marshalls or
records?
Home Sense, they're all basically the same, right? Oh yeah, they'd
Yeah.
have a small section of records. I remember they had this, they had Queen's Greatest Hits, they had a couple
Oh
others,
man.
and they came with the the cross with the big plastic circle thing that they have to
Yeah,
remove. So I thought I got to get this, even though, and I knew this at the
that's amazing.
time, on my way to the, because they put that thing around them
Yeah,
to,
it's all cut, right?
it's indented here on the side.
I hate that. I
But
hate that.
anyway,
Like, come on, guys.
my
Wow, who
next,
knew winners?
yeah, right. My next one is one of the worst examples of an album that was never issued on vinyl, and all they had was to blow up the CD and the
Oh
CD
no,
visuals. But
this
because
is
it had
not going to
never
be
been
good.
on vinyl and it's one of my favorite bands, I kind of had to have it. Kansas and
Uh,
Freaks of Nature. This is one of my favorite albums of theirs. It did not come out on a major label, so it didn't stand a chance, but I think this is a fantastic modern day album. Um,
have they done Tim a series of reissues of their stuff or no?
there would be the original, like the Sony stuff from 74 to 83, there would be,
Right,
but
but
not, not,
they haven't done a proper like we're gonna boom put out
no,
like a
and I wish some label would, like, you know, like Inside Out Music or somebody, but this is a great album. Unfortunately, they didn't do, like, this is on Back on Black, which I've got other better looking uh examples from. Now the front cover was pretty blurry to begin with because it's based on a really old
yeah.
picture, but this shot of the band on the back is terribly blurry. And
Oh yeah.
the writing that they use doesn't even look as good as the CD writing.
Oh,
So
that's terrible.
this deserves a better treatment, but this is probably the only time it's ever going to appear on vinyl.
Yeah.
Next up is one that I picked up. Yeah, this, I think this was the last studio album I needed. Queen, Made in Heaven. This
I
was their
need this one.
posthumous album. I mean, it's most of it. I mean, some of it were vocals that Freddie recorded right up until his death. As
Yep.
soon as Innuendo came out, they went back into the studio, and he, you know, the people know this. I mean, he would record like three lines, and they would, you know, a lot of remakes of songs that were on Freddie's solo album, Brian's solo album, and even Roger Taylor's. He had a side band called The Cross. Some
That's
songs
right.
from there, like Heaven for Everyone. And yeah, so this is a reissue from 2015, the same series as my Innuendo record.
Right. I need that one on vinyl
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And one more. Of course, I had to have this, but this is better done. This is how you do it with an album that was never released on vinyl.
Oh, that's
Y&T,
amazing.
Musically Incorrect, and this is the first one I've got from a company called Night of the Vinyl Dead, and I really like how they do reissues. Night of the
That's
Vinyl
amazing.
Dead. Yeah, I think it's This is a limited edition 67. I think that's a six. Maybe it's a four. I don't know. 67 out of 500 says here in the corner. Uh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to get this, and this is just what
Oh,
was
of
on the
course.
CD. And that this was just a stock photo that they found for it. But
Right.
what I like about the Night of the Vinyl Dead issues, and there's other examples of this too, but the labels that they use. So you'll see that label. It says Anno TVD, Night of the Vinyl Dead's what it stands for, but that is meant to look like London Records, which was their label for their
Oh
first couple of
yeah.
albums. So that's, and they
Yeah.
would do that. You'll see other examples of that too. So even down to the stereophonic. That's all I got from 95.
95. Well, we're into the latter half of the decade now then. I only
Yeah.
have one. Oh no, I've got a couple from 96. Yeah. So one of my favorite bands, this is their debut album. This was all over Much Music when it came out. The songs from this, they're still around. It's a big wreck. And this is their debut in loving memory of The Oath was a massive hit in
Oh yeah.
Canada, was a much right. And that song is such an amazing melodic hard rock song and is probably their best known in the US as well. But this band, Ian Thornley, Mr. Ian
Yeah.
Thornley right there, is one
Yeah.
of the most talented musicians on the planet. And I saw them just last year at a small venue here. They did the Thornley album in its entirety. I got the poster actually up on my wall back there.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Um, yeah, which is right in the middle there.
Yeah.
That was a side band of his, but this album is mid '90s peak rock and so good.
Yeah, they got a lot of play, and that album came out in Atlantic, I think, so it did get play in the States, but not
Yeah,
not probably what it should have. But yeah, I mean, that was just good rock for the time.
good
I
rock
think I
and
just remembered reading not too long ago that that song, that's the name of it, folks, got some sort of award for like a crazy
yes,
amount of radio plays in Canada.
yeah, it's one of the top like plays of any rocks. It might be actually. Was it possibly Tim? They said the top rock radio in
Might have
terms of
been.
plays in Canada.
Yeah.
Might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we've talked about this band a ton already,
Yeah.
but in '96, Def Leppard put out Slang, and man, as a Def Leppard fan, I was not expecting this. I was ready. I was so excited when this was coming out, and then I saw the video for "Work It Out" on Much Music, and I was like, um, "What's going on? Where's
Yeah.
Adrenalized Def Leppard?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I hated this when it came out. I hated it. I will say, as a fan, I hated it. I like it now. It's a great album and a complete departure from what they were doing. They needed to do it, and they
Yeah, I
needed to
think
make
so.
this.
Yeah.
And it's now for me one of my favorites. The songs are amazing.
I gotta get.
All right.
I don't have that on vinyl. I gotta fix that.
Yeah, this one you can get it on its own, but this one for me is out of the again the
Box set.
volume
Yeah.
2 box set. Yeah.
Or
So
maybe I'll just buy an original, right? And put another mortgage on the house.
or yeah, do that. There are originals out there that cost a fortune.
Yeah.
Then we've got another band we've talked about. Oh wait, is this 96? I
That's
hope this is
98.
96.
That's
That's
98.
98. Let's take that away. Let's take that away.
You didn't see that. Edit
That's all
that
right.
out.
You didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything. Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
that's it.
so 96, I only have three from 96. Same band. One of my favorite albums in this series.
Oh,
Kiss Unplugged. Um, I absolutely love
yes, I
this
have the
Unplugged
original.
album.
I have
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
original.
I don't like how they cropped this, but I would take it over it being pixelated, but seems to me they could have done it so that it took up the whole cover. But this is from the 2014 reissue series, and this also has, what is it? Got to Choose, which was not on the original North American
Oh,
cassette and CD, but and it was on the home video, but it wasn't on the original album. But I
right.
this to me is the thing to play for someone who says that Kiss aren't good musicians, because listen to this. They were fantastic. Another great example
Oh,
of how good
absolutely.
Bruce and Eric were. I mean, they just take these songs from all over the catalog and just play them
Yeah.
so well. And it was really heartwarming to. I've always loved this picture of the six of them. Of
I'm glad
course,
they did that.
yeah, of course, this led to the reunion. But
Of
next up
course.
was an album that I remember seeing when it came out on vinyl because they were a big band and this was highly anticipated. I didn't end up buying an original. And I will go on record as saying that this is controversial, but this could be my favorite album by this band. And a lot of people hate it.
Mm. Oh
Metallica,
my, that is very
Load.
that's very controversial.
This came
You're
out at
being
just
very
the right time for me. I don't think it's, I really don't think it's that different than the Black Album. Everybody jumped
uh
on the alternative thing and they cut their hair, but I don't know. I just really like this album. But this is a blackened reissue, probably from the early, I don't know. This might be from like about 10 years ago. But so yeah, I do remember seeing Electra versions of this in the stores, but they were expensive. So I didn't end
they
up
were.
getting it. But for whatever reason, I do really like this album. And I know that's not a popular thing. And
Have you
finally,
done you need to do a contrarians of that.
did I? I don't know. I know I've talked about it. And finally, this is an album that fans of this band don't like, but again, I really like it. It's the longest that had ever been between albums by this band because they normally put an album out 2 years steady. But in fall '96, I found this album on CD, Rush Test for Echo.
Test
I
for Echo.
Yeah, and so every time I see an Inuk Shook, I think of this album cover. And
Yeah,
this is Atlantic reissue, probably from, I don't know because it doesn't say. But anyway, I like this up. But the other thing is that when I bought this, and this is new, unopened, I probably bought this 10 years ago. Not that long ago, really. 1995. And I bought it in Canada. So you don't find anything for 19,
no,
So that's
hell
all I
no.
got from 96.
So I apologize. I missed a 95. Shall I show it now? But
No problem.
um, the original goes for $400 or $500.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is Van Halen's Balance, which the cover gets a lot of
Yeah.
controversy, and there is an alternate with just the one boy on it.
Yeah.
But this album was their last with Sammy. Went to
Yeah.
#1 when it came out. It's one of those ones that fans are split on. I like it. Seventh Seal was nominated for a Grammy, but this is part of the reissue. They did the box set of
Yeah.
the kind of the Sammy years, so it was
Yeah.
part of that collection. But back to 95,
Yeah.
96 we went through for me. I don't have any 97s, Tim.
Okay.
No,
Now,
no 97s for me.
oddly enough, for some reason, I was surprised. I have seven. I was really
7.
surprised. I was really surprised. Um, this is one I haven't had too long. This came out in 2019. It would have been on vinyl in some parts of the world. And this is the second cover because the first one was very quickly pulled from stores.
Oh,
Aerosmith Nine
yeah.
Lives, which is fine because I like this one better anyway. But yeah, this came out in early '97 originally, and I actually like this album, and I think it's because there was no one song that got played to death from it, and there was no big
True.
ballads from. There really weren't any big hits off this album, but I love "Falling in Love Is Hard on the Knees." But unfortunately, this reissue adds a certain Diane Warren song that was a huge hit for them that I've never liked.
Oh no, yeah.
It
Let's not even
puts
speak of it.
Yeah, puts it on the end
No.
here. So this is a reissue on Columbia, which was the original label. So yeah. Um, Next up is I've had this one for a while. This is another album that gets a lot of flack for fans of this band because they were kind of pushed by their label to deliver some hits. Um, but I still think they came up with a good album. Dream Theater, Falling into Infinity.
Yep.
Um, with I might add Storm Thorgerson artwork, which kind of if you
Storm.
yeah, this is one of the this is he worked with them a couple times, this and on the live album that came out after it. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good album. This is a 2014 reissue, so I've had this, and this one actually says it's number 1478 out of 3000, so fairly limited.
Oh.
Glad I got that one. I did. Although you can still get it. You can get a 2024 reissue. Um, this one. which we've seen. Kiss Carnival of Souls, the final sessions. I mean, that picture is blown up. It looks awful. You
It
know,
does, yeah.
there was
Yeah.
no real artwork made for this. I kind of prefer this photo of them sitting down with the instruments, but
Well,
um,
I think they just threw it together, right?
they
Like
just
it
threw it
was like,
together. I
oh,
mean,
let's
I am glad it came out because it wasn't going to. There were that was one of the first that I remember like bootleg copies or counterfeit copies were
yeah.
like burned CDs were circulating of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Somehow,
Yeah, you're right.
somehow it got that one, and a couple years after that, Poison's "Crack a Smile,"
Yep.
and which also eventually got issued. Now, I like this album more than you do. I like a few songs on it. I like Master and Slave and Jungle, but I mean, it's so obviously their attempt to go grunge, and they were late to the game doing it. It's certainly not the first time Kiss jumped on a bandwagon, but I am glad it came
Certainly
out.
not.
And the weird thing is because I mentioned getting into Kiss with Live 3. So because of that, this ended up being the first Kiss studio album to come out that I was waiting for as a fan. So
Oh,
maybe that's why I have more of a soft spot for it. But
that's
I mean, I
probably
I
it.
realize that it's not a great Kiss album. Um,
No.
it sure is heavy though. Same band that I mentioned before, controversially. I have no controversial opinions about this. I just bought it. Metallica Reload, of course, this was the
Yeah.
rest of the songs that weren't on load. They were all recorded at the same time period, so they're really kind of interchangeable. But this had Fuel, which is a fairly big song on it.
That's a good
The,
track. Yep.
the Memory Remains, which the late Marianne Faithfull was really creepy vocals on it. So
Very creepy.
this is another blackened reissue. Um, Next up is an album. Well, I say this is 97. There's different versions of it. This actually says 99, so I could be wrong about this one. But I bought it because I love the band, and it was the first time that it was on vinyl, and it's limited edition. Let's see, does it have a, it doesn't have a number of how many were made, but anyway, this is Night Ranger, um,
Oh,
Rock
nice.
in Japan Greatest Hits Live. Now, here's what sucks about this. This is actually, it's a single record. It's got 9 songs on it. But when this came out on CD, and it's come out under different covers, this was
Right.
recorded when they got back together in the original lineup and they put the Neverland album out, which has never been reissued on vinyl. Sony needs to do that to fix that.
Should be.
Um, but they took all the songs from Neverland off this final release because they did do 4 or 5. So I don't know right off the top of my head, but they did a fair chunk of that album. So it was the CD is longer. It's got more songs on it. Now I appreciate
Right.
getting it on a single disc, but this is just got all this, Sing Me Away, Rumors in the Air, Sentimental Street, Goodbye, When You Close Your Eyes, Don't Tell Me You Love Me, Sister Christian, You Can Still Rock in America. Great, but
Oh man. Oh
I
man.
would
Yeah.
I wish they hadn't altered it. This is on Deadline Records, which issued a lot of these sort of releases from bands of this era.
Right.
And let's see, got another one still. Now this is a weird one because it didn't come out in North America originally. I had to get an import of it. Had a different cover because that just shows you how this type of music was not popular, even though it did come out in UK and Japan. Wasn't available on vinyl in North America until 2021. Whitesnake and Restless Heart. So it's got a different
Oh,
there's at least 2 other covers for this. There's one that's just Coverdale's face, and the CD that I've got has this on the front cover, which is Hugh Syme
right.
artwork, like a lot of their previous ones. This is a really good album. Now, it was supposed to be
It
a
is.
Coverdale solo album. That's why it's kind of mellow, but I still think there are some great songs. Too Many Tears is a great ballad. It was kind of a hit, I think, in the UK or minor. There is a video for it. But yeah, this came out on Rhino. Finally, they put a version of it out. So this album is from 1997. And oddly
That's a good one.
enough, when I got that on CD, I got it at the same time that I got this on CD because
Ah, that's nice.
Y&T Endangered Species, which was the second of their 2 90s comeback albums. I think personally this is the better of the two. It's more of the classic Y&T sound. This is 82 out of 500. So this is also on Night of the
Ooh,
Vinyl
very
Dead.
limited.
Yeah, this is also on Night of the Vinyl Dead. And yeah, really good quality album. I mean, if you like anything of their stuff before, you'd like this one. Musically incorrect, some people don't like that one, but I do. So that's all I got from
That's very cool.
97.
All right. I'm down to my last couple here, and I showed this briefly. We know which one it is. is the Kiss Psycho Circus. This is a same, I think 2014. Yeah, this is part of the 2014 reissues they did. And this album was kind of right. It's interesting because they called it the reunion, right? And Peter, Chris, and Ace, but they barely play on this,
Right.
which is a little bit kind of deceiving for fans. But this was them reuniting after the success of the Unplugged and the tour and all the
Yeah.
rest of it, and they put out this one. The title track is really good. I kind of wish they had done this the lenticular cover that I
Oh,
have on C. I have the CD, and it's a lenticular cover, so when you move it, it kind of changes
you mean
the
like
look of the
this?
album. There you.
I didn't know. I didn't know there was a version that just had the plain cover on it.
This is just plain. Where did I need to get that
This
one?
is from the 2014 reissue series because it's got
How
that thing in the. I don't. This is the
so
one that came from Amazon. I don't know. I didn't think anything of it.
now is that cover? Can I ask? Is the lenticular like put on top? Can you tell? You know what I mean?
I
Like it,
will
or
be
is it
honest with you. I think so, but I didn't. This is not open. But I
right?
think
Okay.
so. I think it's part of the sleeve. Um,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, that's
I need
interesting.
to I need to look for that now
I
because now I
want.
want it.
Well, I wonder if the one you've got isn't more valuable.
I don't know. This just came. Actually, you know what? I got this on Amazon.
So did I.
I got this on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's funny. Huh.
Okay.
I'm gonna look and see if there's a
Well,
separate listing for the one you've got.
and I only, was kind of steamrolled over yours because this was the first. I knew that was the only
No,
one you
yeah,
had from
that's yeah,
'98, so I thought we'd make the segue. But yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
totally.
Now
So that
this,
that
yeah,
lenticular is just the back. No, okay, got it.
just the
Okay, just the
front.
front.
Yeah, it's just the front. Yeah,
I love that though.
the cassette's not lenticular either that I
No,
have. It's just the CD.
no,
Now
just the CD.
I was so excited for this. Just peak Kiss, madness, right? Had gotten into them, 4 or 5 years previous to that. Saw the reunion tour in Montreal, was fantastic. Heard the song, Psycho Circus, loved it, still love it.
Good song. Yep, good
And
song.
unfortunately, I let that song color my interpretation of the whole album. And over the years, I've come to realize, it runs out of steam pretty fast.
Yeah.
Um, it really does. I think it's got some good songs on it. I always thought that Raise Your Glasses could have been on Crazy Nights. That sounds like a more sort of pop metal song, but I like it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's very spotty. One of the last, I think it's like the second to last album produced by the great Bruce Fairbairn before he died, because he produced Yes is the Ladder after this. Um,
Right.
and I saw them on this tour, and they weren't the same band I saw 2 years previous to that. When I saw them in
Mm.
'96, they were a machine. And I
Yeah.
don't want to pick on them. I especially don't want to pick on Ace, but it was a little bit sloppier. They were just I
Yeah.
just wasn't the same. But I did, did I enjoy it? Of course I enjoyed it. But
Of
yeah, I mean, I
course.
think Kevin Valentine plays the bulk of the drums on here. Bruce Kulick's on it. I think Tommy Thayer's on it. So it's however, and Kiss fans, sensible Kiss fans know that that's not new. I
No, of
mean,
course not.
look
That's
at
been going on
Dynasty
since
or
the yeah.
Unmasked or Destroy. So anyway,
No, Peter Chris doesn't even play drums on Dynasty, right?
no, I don't think
It's
so. Unless he
Anton, it's
plays on
Anton
dirt.
Fig.
It's Anton Fig. But anyway, so now the next one is again, this is like the White Snake's greatest hits. There's something about greatest hits albums. Technically, this came out in 2009, but I call
Mm.
it 98, and it's this Motley Crue greatest hits.
Oh,
So this
yep.
initially came out in '98 with this cover, but it was more beige.
Yes, I have that.
And
Yeah.
oh my, you know what? I never really looked at this before. Oh, this
There's some
sucks.
different versions floating around
Yeah,
on that
this
one.
this sucks because this does not have Bitter Pill or what was the other one? Enslaved,
Enslaved.
which were
Enslaved.
good, especially Bitter Pill. That was a great new song. Better than anything that was on Generation Swine.
Oh God. Yeah. Don't even talk about that
Neither of
one.
those songs are on here, but what it does have for newer, it's got, now this is kind of cool. It's got Sick Love Song, which was from the sessions that produced the new songs that were on Red, White, and Crew compilation.
Yeah.
So that's on here. It's got If I Die Tomorrow, which I never liked. It's got Saints of Los Angeles and The Animal and Me from the Saints of Los Angeles album, but it doesn't have those other. Oh, that sucks. I'm glad I didn't pay much for
Yeah.
this.
Well, that's
Anyway,
why it's a different issue, right? Because that with Saints
yeah,
of Los Angeles, that wasn't out in
yeah.
yeah, as we obviously know. But
All
all
right.
right.
Okay. So now I've still got more from 98, which is
Oh, you do?
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I've got two
I
more.
I'm impressed.
So Neverland didn't come out, but this one did. Night Ranger 7, which initially came out on CMC International, which was like the burial
Yeah,
ground for 70s, 80s rock bands, right?
yeah.
Um,
Slaughter's on there.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a really good album, though. This is a really good Night Ranger album.
I can say I haven't listened to this one. I don't know
It,
this one.
it's a little blurry because it had never been on vinyl before. This is another Night of the Vinyl Dead issue,
Oh,
and
okay.
this is
Interesting.
229 out of 500. So when I found out this was available, I had to get it. Now,
Of course.
what they didn't do what they should have done with this album, Night of the Vinyl Dead. They should have made it look like the old MCA Rainbow label, but they didn't. But this is kind of cool in and of itself. They
Oh, I like that.
just put the logo on it.
Yeah.
And another thing I wish they had done is that there is a song that is on foreign versions of this album called Crazy World, Great Kelly Kagi ballad, that's not on the North American version. They should have put this on here and made it a 12-song album.
Yeah.
Now, finally, this is definitely a gray market issue, but I don't care because it gave me all of this band's studio albums on vinyl.
Yeah, you got to have that.
The controversial Van Halen
Oh
3.
my.
So, yeah, colored
Oh, that's a
vinyl.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
It's great to have that though.
yeah. This one is, yeah, they didn't even, they didn't even divide the songs into sides. It's just the 12 songs that were on the CD. Um, nice of them to stick a Warner Brothers logo on there. It's not official.
Oh, geez. Oh,
But this has
geez.
never been on vinyl, and it probably never will officially be issued on vinyl. So
No,
there you
I
go.
don't think so.
And I,
That's a gem.
yeah, and I only have one from 1999.
I only have one from 1999. I'm thinking it's the same one. I'm thinking we both have this.
Nope. I
Oh,
knew that would be yours, and I need that on vinyl, but that's not it.
this Def Leppard Euphoria. They did a nice job with this one. It's out of the vinyl collection, Volume Two.
Oh,
Nice
that's cool. I've never
gatefold,
seen
right?
that picture. I've seen the same
Nope.
sessions, but
And well, you've probably seen this is the one you've seen,
yeah,
obviously
that's
at the
on the
back.
back of the
Yeah,
CD. Yeah.
yeah. But this, I was so happy when I was. It might have
Yep.
been summer or fall, depending what. I think it was summer or fall. And
This came out right at the end of June, I think.
that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Because Promises was on the radio, and I
Oh,
was like, oh,
it
thank
was like, you know what? It was
God.
like hearing from an old friend.
That's you just said it
I remember putting the
exactly.
CD on. I love Demolition Man, but when
Oh, that's
Promises
so good.
came on, I'm like, that's the sound that got me into this band in the first place.
Yeah,
Right
and
there.
I was so happy when this came out because I was looking for that after Slang, right? And there's a ton of great songs on here. Paper Sun is a la White Lightning, but one of their
It's
best.
a good or desert song. It's that slow,
Oh,
heavy Def
yeah,
Leppard that, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And I believe they don't play it live. I think they played it. It's on the Dead Flatbird, I
I
believe.
think you're right. Yeah, yeah,
So, but anyways, this was the return to form for my favorite band for sure, and this is a great piece to have on vinyl.
yeah. Got to get it. No, the only one I have on vinyl is another one of these gray market releases, but this was never issued on vinyl and probably never will be officially. So there's Rat with their self-titled album from 1999 that came out on Portrait Sony, and
It is so good.
they don't have a bad album. They don't.
No, you're right. They
Now,
really don't.
if I'm being completely honest, this would probably be my least favorite, but I
Yeah,
still like it. That's how good this band, that's how consistent this band is. I still listen to this album. It's
exactly.
still like over the edge, like, oh yeah, it's good. Now this has
Their
this
band, if you
weird looking
oh
portrait. That's not the portrait label that we know.
no, it is not.
So,
No,
but I mean, hey, why not, right? Like, why not? So yeah, that's the only one I have from 1999.
that one, like you said, if Rat you're ranking albums, and a lot of people do the top 10 lists and the bottom one and they don't like, but like with Rat, there isn't one that's a bad album. It's
No, they're
just your
just
least
ones,
favorite,
the
maybe.
ones you listen to, the more. Yeah, I mean, and if
Yeah.
somebody, most people could list any Rat album as their favorite, and I'd be like, I can see that.
Yeah, I
Like for
agree with you.
me,
Yeah,
it's probably that one, maybe Reach for the Sky, but they've all got great songs on them. Like it's just a great band. I could like
exactly.
I've got so
Exactly.
much respect for that band, and as time has gone on, it just continues to be like how good they were. So
Well, they
so
were
there
so good.
so there you go. Now this has been great. Like we both surprised each other,
We
and a
did.
lot of good reissues on vinyl. And of course, there will be more. But yeah,
Well,
that's
there
what
will
Chris and
be.
I have for 1990s albums, 1990 to 1999 reissue vinyl. Chris will be back. We'll do something.
Oh, I'll be
We
back.
all we always do.
We
Be
do.
sure and follow my rock and roll heaven on all of the socials. And Chris has always got cool content. And Chris, anything you want to add?
No, lots of good stuff coming up in the new year. My first show, I will report back on my socials. My first show coming up is I'm seeing Mammoth in early March at a
Yep.
smaller venue here in Toronto, Wolfgang Van Halen, obviously. And then you know what? I'm going to give a shout out here to somebody. If all of your listeners, watchers, Tim, are into vinyl and into what we've talked about with 90s vinyl, which is hard to find originals of, and reissues are out there of them. Spicer Records on Facebook.
Yep.
Um, he is a great follow if you're looking for late 80s, 90s hard rock, glam, metal, etc., with original and some reissues. So if you want to check his stuff out, there's lots of goodies he puts up every week that your wallet will take a serious hit on.
Your wallet won't thank you, but your collection will. Cool.
That's right. Yeah.
Right
So
on.
thanks for having me back, Tim. That was
Yeah,
a ton of fun.
always a pleasure, Chris. And thanks everybody for watching this. What have you got for these vinyl? Like, what are we missing? Are there any of these
Yeah. What do we
that
got? Yeah. Let's see.
are there any that I've said have never been issued on vinyl that actually have been? Let me know. Or are there any that were actually issued before the reissues came out? Want to have that accurate. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching Tim's Vinyl Confession.